All right.
Okay, welcome everyone. I'm excited to be here. I love telling Noah's story. This is the way I was introduced to Young Living. Noah's story goes back to when we got him at 3 months of age, and he had experienced 18 fractures and had been gagged. So a lot of his early life was very, very painful. One of the things that we have discovered that was so detrimental to his life was the fact that he had antibiotics for the first 32 months of his 36 months of life. And it basically killed all of the good bacteria in his body. So he wound up being allergic to everything. So we discovered early on, just from his actions, that he was probably going to test on that autism spectrum. He had all the traits. He would spin everything. He would spin wheels. He would spin quarters. He would spin a glass. Anything he touched, he would spin. And he was very much a loner. He stayed very much by himself. He did not want to be held. He did not want to hold your hand. He did not want you to watch a movie with him. He wanted to sit off in the corner and do his own thing. So we started by trying to get some help because we knew nothing about autism. And we soon discovered that you don't get help if you don't have a diagnosis. So at that point, we decided to get the diagnosis. Noah did test on the autism spectrum, and their big thing was early intervention. Get him in school, get him in school. You got to get him in preschool. So we did. At age 3, we put him in the local preschool. He was there for 3, 4, and age 5. So 3 years he spent in the local preschool. When he came out at the end, well, let's go back. At 3 years of age, when we got this diagnosis, I went to see a local chiropractor that was a naturopath. And one of the things that he told me, besides telling me about diet and gluten and a lot of the things that, that you need to do to watch their diet, he handed me a card as I walked out the door and said, would you please go get these oils and don't ever give him a synthetic drug? So I hesitated. I did not know anything about oils. To me, they were woo-woo. I had been working on a BSN in nursing, 2 semesters short of graduating, and I thought, that's weird stuff. I know Western medicine and I know what it can do. So, but it didn't settle well with my spirit. I just felt like, okay, I paid this guy money. Why don't I go get these oils and just see what they do? So when I picked up my kit, the gentleman told me, he said, you need to put this thieves on the bottom of his feet every night for 6 months. This is going to support his immune system. And I thought, okay, I can do that. That's simple. So that's what I did. For the first 6 months, I think probably the only thing we used out of our kit was thieves. And I began to notice that he wasn't having a lot of his allergies. He wasn't having the runny nose. He wasn't having a lot of issues that he had had for 3 years. So I thought, okay, this might work. So I began to study, and within a few months, I began to look for resources, and I found the resources called Gentle Babies, and I got online and ordered it. And I got a call the next morning and said, would you like for me to ship this to you or bring this to you? And come to find out, Laura lived right behind my flower shop, just 2 doors, 3 doors down. So she brought me over Gentle Babies, and I met Laura. It changed my life forever. Laura worked with me for several months before she discovered that I had signed my husband up under her, since I wasn't under her, which she promptly told me was illegal, and that I needed to call and cancel that account, that if I was going to do it, I was going to do it the right way. So I was very blessed to have an upline at that point that, yes, he said, I will get the signatures for you and I will get them to you immediately. And we did. I mean, he was very, very kind, very good. And so I was able to move um, into Laura's downline. Now, I was not going to build a business. Nope. I had no idea that I would build a business at that point. But after meeting Laura, I thought, okay, we're seeing these miracles happen with Noah. You know, this might happen. So I moved and Laura started teaching me how to use all the other oils with Noah. We did amazing things with his physical body. We were not having any difference in the autism at age 5 when he got out of the 3rd grade of special ed. He'd been there 3 years. He was still in a pull-up. We could not potty train him. And he still could not answer a yes or no question. He could not have any conversation with you about anything. Now, he could speak. He could repeat a whole movie, but everything he said was echolalic. It was what he had just heard. That's what he would respond to you with. So I read a book and I brought it just so you can see, and I know it's going to be backwards, but it's called Children with Starving Brains. It's a book by Dr. Jacqueline McCandless. That's McCandless. McCandless. She's a doctor. And I'm sure that I read this book, but there was only one paragraph that stuck out to me in that book. And when I read that paragraph, I quit. I thought, oh, that's it. That I've got to try this. And it talks about the autistic child's gut not having enzymes in the gut to break down the food to feed the brain. And the brain is starving. And I thought, what if that's it? What if it's that simple? So I ordered Mighty Zymes. May of 2009, we started giving Noah Mighty Zymes with every snack he got, with every meal he got. He got enzymes 4 or 5 times a day. And July of 2009, 60 days later, he walked into the kitchen and asked me what was for dinner. And I sat on the floor and cried. He had never spoken words to me that made any sense, that, you know, that were timely. And by the end of August, he went back into school in regular 1st grade, fully potty trained by himself. We didn't do anything. And he was talking, it's maybe not as good as he does now because he talks all the time now, but he was talking fully at that point. And the teachers could not believe he was the same person. So that's where our journey started. We have continued enzymes. He takes Essential Zymes 4 now. He does most of the adult things that David and I would do, the vitamin C's, the vitamin D's, the multigreens, the what you would normally take for yourself. Noah takes all of those now. He is still, if you're around him, those of you that know Noah, you know that he still has some of those little social peculiarities. But I don't know that he would test on the autism spectrum. If he did, it would be high Asperger's. He is working at Brookshire's and he is in his 2nd semester of college at age 17. So we have had an amazing story. I would love to just answer questions at this point rather than try to tell you all the stuff we did, because we've used every oil for everything that you can imagine happening. We have used nothing but oils with Noah. He has never had any prescription medicine after we got him off of the Allegra and Benadryl for his allergies by using the great essential oils that we have for allergies. He has never had another type of medication other than that. Now, he did have, he's had 4 rounds of antibiotics over 14 years. So those were all for staph related issues, and he's not had any for probably 8 years. He has had nothing else. So don't let someone tell you that what we have from Young Living doesn't work. Yes, you have to use them. Yes, you have to use them on a timely basis. You don't use them once a day. You don't use them twice a day. If you're dealing with something, you use them very often. Okay.
Very good. So if you have a question, you can either unmute yourself and ask it, or you can put it in the chat if you aren't where you can unmute yourself. And then once you ask your question and you're done, if you'll mute yourself back so we don't have lots of noise.
I'm not seeing any questions.
No, well, I'll read some of the things. So people say, when you were telling your story, which I love, on Laura was like, do you want me to dump this out my back window into your yard, or bring it, you mail it? And someone said, Laura is a life changer. And then you said you didn't want to do the business. And Keely said, famous last words for many of us, including myself. And Keely again said, it's been absolutely amazing to see Noah's progress over the years. He is the brightest and sweetest young man. Yes. Mark Coughing says he has a question.
Okay.
So did the oils help to reverse the effects of the antibiotics?
I believe that when you detox the liver, that you're going to reverse a lot of those effects of any synthetic medication. We have not had him tested again for allergies, but I will tell you that he can be around a dog. He can be around animals as long as he does not touch them without having a problem. In the beginning, people could not even come into our house that had been around a cat or a dog. His specialist that came to see him when he was 6 and 7 and 8, working with different specialists, working with sensory issues and things he dealt with, they would have to change clothes before they come in the house if they lived with a cat or a dog. That's how bad it was. He can now walk around them, see them. He just can't. If he picks them up and then rubs his face, he still has a little bit of hives reaction to it. So yes, I think detoxing the liver and getting those antibiotics out and rebuilding the gut. That's the main thing, is rebuilding that gut bacteria after you've had those antibiotics. Once we got his gut rebuilt, we don't even do gluten-free anymore. Those of you that know Noah know that he eats hamburgers, or cheeseburgers, cheese pizza, and grilled cheese. And that's about what he eats. So we don't deal with any of those issues anymore as long as we keep his gut healthy. Now, I would not dare let him eat that kind of food if I was not supplementing with supplements that I knew were going to help him. Yes, maybe we're only offsetting the diet. That may be true, but at least he's eating and he's healthy.
So that Mark followed up with the question, because of the impacts of antibiotics, are there any oils to avoid?
I do not believe so. Personally, my belief is if you are taking a medication, a synthetic medication, a pharmaceutical drug, you do not need to take the oils and the medication at the same time. If you're going to pay your money to take the medication, then you need to allow the medication to work. If you take the oils at the same time, what are our oils meant to do? They're meant to detox the body. So if you take the medication and you detox them out immediately before they have time to do their job, then you're wasting your money on the medication. Does that answer your question, Mark?
He said, yes, that makes sense.
Are you halfway here, Mark? You're supposed to be here tomorrow. Mark is coming to care.
Very good. Does someone else have a question? And while you're unmuting or whatever, no, he just got out of a manager's meeting. So why don't you, as people are asking other questions, you can also talk about, tell about care if they don't know what that is.
Okay. Uh, we have care usually at least once every 2 months, sometimes once a month. The next one starts this Thursday. We do have 2 or 3 openings if anybody is interested in coming. I think we have a total of 7. Excuse me. It's really exciting to see people learn why the oils do what they do, so that you have the confidence to share. To me, that learning Raindrop is fantastic. Learning Vitaflex is fantastic. Those are critical to keeping your family healthy or getting your family back to a healthy state. But to me, knowing how and why the oils work and having the confidence to share with, and if somebody questions you, knowing the answer, to me, that is one of the most important things about care. And the next most important to me would be the emotional part, the emotional release, learning how to release those things that are holding you back, those things that have a hold on your life that need to be gone. They're holding you back. And that's one of the main things we work on is emotional release and the chemistry. And yes, we're going to teach you Raindrop and Vitaflex, but the power is in the emotional release, and the power for building your business is in the chemistry. So you're confident to share.
Very good. Well, yes, and it's a hands-on 2.5 day. You will learn a lot. 3.5. I couldn't remember. And Yvonne is a great host at the same time. So Marie Brock asked the question, which oils were your favorite to use for Noah?
Of course, Thieves was always our very favorite. Our second favorite would be Vetiver. Vetiver applied under the nose right here calms the brain. When you've got a child that's on that spectrum and they're always just going and going and going, and they're just, sometimes they're nearly uncontrollable. We watched Ryan Watson do a brain scan that he put the brain scan cap on Noah, and we watched Noah's red lines just going just like this all over the wall. He put Vetiver under his nose, and within 5 minutes, those brain waves had totally calmed to a normal rhythm. So Vetiver was one of the oils that we used a whole lot. We used Peace and Calming because a lot of times children that, not just children on the spectrum, but a lot of times children have restless legs. If you've ever tried to sleep with your kids, you're going to always usually have one that just kicks constantly. And we learned that Peace and Calming on his legs at night before we put him to bed, we'd wake up the next morning in the same position. He would never move. We loved the respiratory oils because of the allergies that he had for so long. We used a lot of RC and a lot of Raven. What is his favorite oil? It's funny, but the oil that he keeps in his bedroom is Melrose. He had acne really bad for a while, and he learned to just put a roller ball, on the Melrose, and he would just roll it on his face where his acne was. And it's just about all gone. The acne treatment helped Noah tremendously. Within 60 days, he went from this really red acne stuff to a very calm. I mean, it was beginning to heal, and it was not near as bright. So that's something that Noah's always loved. Noah's never mind taking supplements. At some point, I have counted out 25 pills that he was taking every morning and every night, because he has no problem he has 3 or 4 sitting on his bathroom counter that he does not come out of the bathroom in the morning without taking, because those are the ones that we're critical about now. Your vitamin C, your vitamin D, your zinc, those have to be cut. You have to take those before you come out of the bathroom. Because if we're headed for somewhere, we might forget to get the multi-greens, or we might forget to get his power jars, or we might forget some of those. But those 3 he has to take before he comes out of the bathroom, so that I know he has them. But those were his favorite oils.
Well, I was about to ask, you've mentioned some supplements. What on a perfect day, if he remembers them all, what supplements, if you can remember, is he to take? And I know in seasons it varies and everything.
Yeah. Would you mind if I pick them up and just bring the tray?
No, that's fine. I was about to say, I know they're on your dining room table, so. So while she's getting that, Mark shared vetiver. Will it help a manager with an overactive brain thinking of every problem possible to relax and sleep at night? Lavender helps. Well, Mark, why don't you give it a try and see? I can't imagine how it would be a good thing. Okay. That's from Yvonne's kitchen table. And I've told everyone that's where when people go, I don't remember to take mine. It's because you need to have them out on your table so you will remember.
They're on a thing that goes around and around and around. Okay. So he is going to take Power Jazz. Mm-hmm. See right there on the top of it, it tells him how to take it. He is going to take Omega Jazz. He needs fatty acids. He needs those fats for his brain. We all do, but especially a child on the autism spectrum. We take Comfort Tone maybe one every 3 days. A lot of these are mine and David's. He's got the multi-greens. He's going to take the multi-greens. He's going to take the olive. We take the olive. Life 9, he gets one of those a day. And then we stop for about 2 weeks, and then we go back and we take it for about 2 weeks. He's got his essential zymes or essential zymes 4. It depends on whether he's here or not. He always takes Master Formula. We all take Master Formula every day. There's our Super B. If I know that he's going to work or something and it's a hot day or something and I think he's going to be draggy, I will give him 2 Super Bs in a day. You got to remember, he weighs nearly 190 pounds. So he weighs more than I do. So he's got that adult body. So inner defense he can take. You went after Noah? I don't. You might check with Jerry and them. You might check with Jerry. Sorry, David's got to go get Noah from work. There's our vitamin D. And the only other one I see on here that he takes is Illuminize for his eyes. We take those. So he nearly takes everything that David and I take. Yep.
Okay. So Laura just shared, thank you for sharing your story. You and Noah inspire so many people to never give up. Exactly. And I'll go back to one. Marie asked, how often did you do a liver detox on Noah?
We do lead them over the liver. Now we only do it about once every 3 months. And we don't do a long one. We'll usually do it for 7 days. We used to do the Juba Cleanse. We would go through an entire bottle of Juba Cleanse in 30 days, about once every 6 months. That's when we were trying to get everything out. Yeah.
Okay.
Mark, the vetiver will help your brain calm. You definitely will. You can try this weekend.
Yeah, and Laura answered also she loves Rutavala or straight valerian for deep sleep. So
yes. You know, it's funny, Noah has never had a problem sleeping. When we got him at 3 months old, he slept all night long. And he will go to bed. He's in bed by 10 or 10:30. And he's never awake before 8 o'clock unless he has to go to work early. He sleeps 10 hours a night.
All right. Well, unless there's another question, I'll remind everyone that this replay we have a whole section of the replays this month that you can have for yourself or to share with a friend if they missed and weren't able to get on here. And then Joanna shared she's been using Rue to sleep better. It's been helping her sleep all night. She puts a couple of drops on her chest. So, all right. Are there no more questions? Yvonne, thank you. Thank you for sharing. And I've heard that story many times, but I love hearing it. Someone asked how much Leadum once a month over the liver her husband is asking.
On Noah, I do 3 to 4 drops over the liver twice a day
For 7 days.
for 7 days.
Okay. All right.
Now, I'm going to say one more thing.
Okay.
When we were taught to use JuvaCleanse, we were taught to use 5 to 7 drops in a capsule daily. And I've always wondered, could we overdo it? What if you took 10 drops? I just want to say something, and you do your research. But when David came back from Guayaquil in 2015 from the clinic over there where they did the live blood cell analysis, they had him on 10 drops of JuvaCleanse 3 times a day for 30 days. That's a lot of JuvaCleanse. But he didn't have any problems with it, didn't have any negative effects from it. So apparently we can use more JuvaCleanse than what we have believed in the past. But again, ask your body, ask yourself. Don't take somebody else's word for it. Ask yourself and ask your body how much you can take. Gradually increase.
Okay. Well, Yvonne, thank you so much for giving your time and sharing Noah's story. Thank you everyone for your questions. They were so good. And yes, as Laura said, very well said. So these oils and supplements are totally amazing. But as Yvonne said, consistency is key, and quantity and how often you use it is key. Our bodies didn't get like this overnight, and they're not going to be fixed overnight with just small little bits. It takes a whole lot, and using it well. So anyway, all right.
Goodbye, everyone.
Thank
It's good
you.
seeing you.